radio station. You can watch us too. We are on your computer, your mobile device. Just head on over to SuperTalk TV. Now, keeping our police forces healthy is definitely a good thing, and UMMC Police Department is the first of the state to utilize some unique technology. Joining us today is Bodie Sartin. He's the Deputy Chief of Operations, and we got Sergeant Green joining us as well to tell us a little more. Welcome, y'all.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
It's good to have you both here. It's also good to see you guys putting the health of your force out in front and doing the best you can to give them the tools that they need to do that or to accomplish that. So tell us about this new technology, Bodie. How did UMMC's Police Department decide to utilize what was out there in a unique way?
Well, toward the last of last year, we started looking at ways to have our officers with some type of physical fitness program. You know, we tossed around competitions, weight loss, things like that, and we kind of put it on the back burner until one of our officers, Eric Abston, passed away of a heart attack. And Eric was only 49. Mm-hmm. Shortly after, the Hinds County officer, he lost his life, and then in March, a Jackson police officer, young guy, Chris Gilliam, passed away with a heart attack. So we knew it was then time to provide our officers with something to help try to offset some of these medical problems, obesity, diabetes. So we came across an app. It's called Cordico, Cordico, produced by Lexicon. And it's basically a free app for the officers and their family. The university and the police department pay for the upfront costs, but it enables them to go to get a long list of information from nutrition to fitness to mental health, how to sleep better, how to eat better, obviously, and then peer support. So, Dr. Bidwell at the university also helps us with putting counselors online that officers can go with discretion. We as administrators don't know, so there's some privacy. Anyway,
yeah, absolutely.
That's kind of where we're at. We're ready to roll this out next week.
Well, we often forget that police officers are humans too, right? We think of them as superhuman and able to go, and they rush in when people are rushing out, and they're there to protect and serve, but they still have the same issues when it comes to health as normal folks do, and taking care of them and chronic diseases is definitely a good thing. Sergeant Green, what does it mean what's the difference between a healthy officer versus one that may be struggling with managing their blood pressure or their cholesterol? Why is it important to have a healthy officer is what I was trying to say.
It's very important. And me personally, I have that personal side of it because I was at once just do anything police officer. Now at 52, I'm glad that I had the chance to, be in a position where, I was like these young officers. At 44, I'm in the hospital.
I'm glad you think 44 is still young.
No, when I was at 44, I'm 52 now. Yeah. But when I was 44, I winded up.
Oh, you wound up, okay.
In the hospital.
Because of your lifestyle?
Because of my lifestyle. I mean, and I was running, playing basketball every day, doing all these things. But I was not eating right. I wasn't sleeping right. I mean, the first 3 days I was in University Hospital on the 4th floor, I didn't know I was here. I was there for 7 days, stroked out.
So you got a second chance.
Right.
So what did you change and do different?
I changed just about everything. The way I eat,
Well, obviously you were still exercising, but still just the way you eat, probably stress management?
Stress management, mental detox on a regular basis, sleep, no matter what it is. People around me know that I'm going to get my rest.
It's one thing, Sergeant Green, and you think about when you were 44, we're going to call them young because I'm not there yet, 42, but also the younger officers, and two, just in this any day work, convincing people that eating right, sleeping, stress management makes a big difference. When you finally submit to that and give it a try, what kind of changes did you see in your own life, Sergeant Green?
Oh my goodness, I could focus better. I was more task oriented. The focus part of it was like really a change for me because I could wake up and it's like my brain is resting, my mind is resting, my body is resting. It's all correlating together, and I'm getting things done now.
Are you able to better, I guess, mentor the young whippersnappers on the force?
And Bodie will tell you, I talked to him a year ago. That's like my number one goal, to mentor, to talk to the young officers, push them into take my position. You need to be right here with me, and I will walk you through, and I say the mental detox. Sometimes you got to separate from technology in order to get a complete detox. I don't care if it's just a ride from work to home or home to work. Clear your mind, meditate, cut off everything, because everything you touch during the course of a day lays on you.
That's a really good visual. If we thought about it that way, Sergeant Green, like every time you just open your phone for just, that mindless scrolling, that's just a blanket on top of you, a weight on top of you. By the end of the day, just how heavy that kind of is,
yes, ma'am.
That load in that way. And Bodie, how long have y'all had, is it the Cordico? Cordico. How long have you had, as UMMC, had the Cordico?
We're rolling it out next week, so the officers don't know about it yet.
Surprise!
Yes, that's why we're here. So, and it goes beyond the health, Rebecca. What is also is overlooked in this career is, the financial strain, how we manage our money, our family, working these crazy hours, and you being at the hospital, the nurses and medical staff go through the same thing. They're working crazy hours. They have to come home, manage a family, manage a budget. It's a lot of stress, and it goes back to what Sergeant Green was saying. Stress keeps you up at night. Without rest, you don't get full recovery. So this Cordico app does more than just talk about health, fitness, nutrition. We want the well-rounded individual, and we want to mentor. He and I, being older, there's younger officers, and we've identified other officers on the department. We want to be like a big brother, big sister to the younger folks. We came on at a time where the culture of a police department, I remember, at the academy, you came out in pretty good shape. My FTO took me to these fried food places, and that was the culture of working that on the street. And then what you learn really quick, I don't want to go down that route. I have to be different. Although I'm a rookie on the patrol, I can't go to these restaurants. So I would start packing a lunch. And then I wanted Sergeant Green to come in also and talk about meal prep. They work 12-hour shifts, and it's real easy to, hit that snooze, jump up, go to work, and run this card in the cafeteria and get some bad choices. Right. But if you meal prep, spend a little time. Like he sent me a text last night. He'll be working Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Sent me a text last night with him and his granddaughter cooking a big, healthy meal, and they'll portion it out. He'll portion it out for the weekend. So his meals are taken care of. That's planning.
Does your granddaughter enjoy that, Sergeant Green?
She does.
What'd y'all cook?
We did grilled chicken and with gravy and steamed rice.
Yeah, you can have your cake and eat it too. You got a little vegetable there. Mr. Bodie, you eating your vegetables?
Yes, I grow my own too. I'm kind of in a rural area, so I had cucumber today that I grew. Peas, corn, all that stuff. If I can't grow it, I try to get it at a farmer's market locally. Try to stay away from the processed stuff.
Yes.
And then just eat, some good lean proteins.
I think the other piece to this that I like, this Cordico app that you guys are rolling out for all of your police force, is the fact that, if I'm hearing you correctly, that the family will have access to it as well. And so for many of you, their spouses, partners, or it should be a together kind of thing that they're going through. It can't just be, one or the other, and that way they can maybe get the support that they need or lack, or then, it's, and it's a movement. Like for you, Sergeant Green, it took a, hitting that rock bottom before, finding yourself in a place you didn't want to be because of your health to fight back. But hopefully changing some minds and changing a little bit of the culture can keep others from having to find themselves like in that position. You mentioned your police officers don't know about this app yet. When are we telling them other than today?
Our plan is Monday morning start appearing at the roll calls. We have a web version, so we have a large screen, touch screen, that we can go over the app, how they log on. And once they log on, it's just a regular app like everybody else.
Yes.
You can scroll. There's videos attached. There's leadership videos.
Well, this is exciting stuff, and we've got more with Sergeant Green and Mr. to good things. Don't forget we are streaming live, as always, over at SuperTalk.fm. Also streaming from that SuperTalk Mississippi app and your local SuperTalk Mississippi radio station. You can watch us, too. We are on your computer, your mobile device. Just head on over to SuperTalk TV. Continuing our conversation with Bodie Sartin. He's the Deputy Chief of Operations for UMC's Police Department, as well as Sergeant Green, talking about getting their workforce a little bit healthier with the rollout of your new app, the Cordico app, but then also looking at the next generation of your cadets. I know that's something that's on the horizon for you guys. I have to ask, between the two, how many years of service is there? Bodie, how many years of service do you have in the police force?
If you count my 2.5 years of dispatching with the Highway Patrol, I'll be at 41.
41.
Yeah, I started when I was 10.
So you started in,
84.
84.
Yeah.
I was supposed to say, well, I was 83, so I was just want to tell you when I was.
I remember when you were born.
I remember when I was born.
Yeah.
Okay, Sergeant Green, how many years in the force do you have?
28.
28 years. Has there, obviously a lot has changed, a lot has probably remained the same, but you talk about that just sort of culture of health. And yes, physical health, but have you seen an open conversation too, both of you, for more mental health when it comes to police force? Because you guys see things and deal with things that we don't have to, and we appreciate that. But you talking about weighing on you, that can take you home too. So how important is it to create that mental health piece for your force?
It's huge. I will just kind of go back in time when police departments, if you got into a serious shooting, you were back at work the next day. So now, there's forced time off. There's evaluation, psychological evaluation. And going back to Cordico, Dr. Gil Martin, who is well known in the police, psychology world, he has videos posted. So we're learning more and more how to deal with mental health. And but again, going back, it wasn't discussed. If someone had a mental health concern and you went to your supervisor, you were basically put on a desk job, taking your gun, and you were there for the rest of your career. So that forced officers to stay quiet about their mental health, which led to other serious issues.
Yeah.
So now we're more open. It's discussed in our police academies. It's discussed openly on our websites. And then with this Cordico app, it talks about, resources for that.
Well, I'd like to see that change. I mean, I'm glad that change is happening, is what I was trying to say. Yeah. Do you have anything to add to that, Sergeant Green?
We have changed. Like Sergeant was saying, the culture of looking at all of that now has changed. Like nowadays you have certain ways of getting peer support. The LEAPS programs we have in our department, we have several officers, myself included, that are able to, to pull you to the side, or you pull us to the side, or we go somewhere, we go away from the department, away from campus, and we can call somebody else in and sit down and talk to you. It doesn't have to be about law enforcement. It could be something from home, that's weighing on you, him or her. And a lot of times with these younger officers, they have way more distractions than me and Sartin had when we were young officers. Way more distraction. They have to deal with media. We didn't deal with social media. Back in the mid to late 90s, we didn't have social media. We didn't have cell phones. We had pagers, if anything. So that's a lot. And sometimes you see it weighing on those young officers.
And you have to help, and it's so good that you have that mentoring aspect to it. All right, Bodie, but you're also looking for more young officers, or just officers in general. It's got to keep going. You two want to retire one day, right?
That's right.
Yes, ma'am.
We need,
At some point.
We need replacements.
You need
Yeah, so...
nothing like hiring your own replacement, but it's a good way of looking at it. When you've been in the field for 40 years, you're allowed the right to retire. So talk to us about that. What does that look like for you guys there at UMMC?
So with Chief Parodies, we have weekly recruitment and retention meetings. So during these meetings, we talked about, hey, we need to reach a fresh set of officers. So we started, tossing around when students or people graduate from high school, they can go to the military route, they can go to the job route, they can go to college. So we said, why not ask Human Resources to provide us with 4 openings for someone to come as a cadet, a police cadet, and we can help them, kind of mentor them, how to interview, how to do physical fitness, how to eat right, teach them about what it's like to be a police officer. Mm-hmm. And so at 21, they can go to the police academy for the state. So we have about 3 years to mentor and groom these individuals. So it just opened. We interviewed our first candidate this week, and our second one yesterday, and we have more coming in today. So
how many cadets are you going to take?
4.
4.
Yes.
And are you excited about the response to it?
Yes.
Did you feel like maybe nobody would come?
We weren't sure, what we would get. So the first one actually was a referral from a nurse that already works in the hospital. She sent her younger brother, who just graduated high school. So had an interest in law enforcement. And when we came out, again, there's no jobs for inexperienced cops. You either paid your own way to a police academy, and they looked at you kind of funny because you're a weirdo, or you knew someone to get into the agencies. I didn't know anyone, so I had to go out of state to a larger city to go to their academy, and then gravitate back. But it is hard to break in to being a police officer. So with this program, I think we'll be cutting edge here in Mississippi, and we can.
Will it be? Is it a paid position, or is it more like an internship?
Yes, it's full paid benefits, tuition benefits, medical, health.
But obviously they haven't done the police academy, so they won't have the same duties as a police officer. No. So what will they be doing for you guys, or I guess as their job duties?
Oh, it'll be a number of things. They can make roll calls. They can help around the administrative part of the hospital. They can go with a seasoned officer in the hospital to walk around to kind of show what it is like to be a cop. We encourage them to take some classes. It's free at Ole Miss or community colleges, or a reduced rate, so that they can also get the criminal justice or law enforcement degree while they're working with us full time, waiting to turn 21, and then we send them to the academy.
All the housekeeping kind of things. When they say, we got housekeeping things to take care of, that's kind of it. It feels like you're getting them, just used to it.
My first assignment as a dispatcher was to learn how to make coffee. So that's important.
That is important.
Yes, yeah.
So speaking of 40 years ago, almost 30 years ago for you, Sergeant Green, what led y'all to law enforcement, Sergeant Green? What got you here?
Well, my interest was with my uncle. He was a Chicago PD, and that always interests me. But my football career ended. Tore my shoulder up, and I had kids, and really looking at Uncle Dago, I was like, okay, I think this is something I can do. At that time, I was that extraordinary guy. I could do, 100 push-ups. I could do that, So this right here is something that guaranteed I'm gonna have a job. I'll be able to support my kids. If not this department, I can go to another department. And this has been that way for the last 28 years. I've always had an income. I've always had a career.
Bodie, for you, Sergeant Bodie?
You always look back and you look for those mentors. So there was a gentleman from my hometown. His name was Carl Leonard, and he was a Mississippi Highway Patrol. Real polished, professional, and you kind of look like, man, that'd be a good job. So anyway, befriended him, and once I got out of college, he's the one that kind of persuaded me to take the dispatching job with the Highway Patrol. But anyway, he kind of led me into the profession. I looked up to him.
And there you go. So if people want more information on the new cadet openings there at UMMC, how do they do that?
Go to the UMMC jobs online, and you can just do a search for police. It pops up police cadet /campus police, and just follow the prompts and apply.
So for 18 to 21?
Well, we don't cap it at 21. We do say 18 with a Mississippi driver's license, so they can come to and from work, and a high school or GED degree.
Okay.
And then, we'll take it from there.
And if you're just interested in the police force, maybe this would be a good first alternative for you before you dive all in.
Test the waters.
And then on Monday morning, your boys and gals will get rolled out the Cordico app and all. So you'll have to come back and let us know how that's all going in a year.
Please
and let us see how that's transformative. All right, Sergeant Green, you keep cooking with your granddaughter.
I will.
You keep encouraging her to eat her fruits and vegetables.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Yeah,
Seriously.
I appreciate this. One more time, give me that website.
UMMC.edu, and then you can just Google
Search it that way?
Yep, search it that way.
All righty. Well, you guys stick with us. We got more.